Hey, welcome back everybody. So in this video, I think this is going to be the last video and we can have our floor plan completed. I could be wrong, but that's the goal anyway. So we're going to add the exterior dimensions and any interior dimensions that we might need to finish off our floor plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to architecture. So the dimensions are going to be in the annotate tab up top. I'm going to go click on the align tool. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to dimension the outside walls, right? So I want to make sure that where you see the wall faces, you want to dimension to the center lines, the faces, the center of core, the faces of core. I'm going to choose wall faces. And notice now yours probably doesn't say entire walls, but you could, if you wanted to dimension the entire wall, you could do that, or just individual pieces of it. I want to show you what the entire wall does first off, because you're going to think, oh, if I can dimension the entire wall, well, that would make my life easier, wouldn't it? Well, in some cases it does. So I'm going to click on entire walls. Now the options, click on that. So I don't have anything else it's dimensioning to. So it's not dimensioning to any openings, no intersecting walls, no grids, because those are unchecked. So that's kind of what I want to show you this first example. So I want to dimension the outside wall to the outside wall on each of the four sides. So I have wall faces selected, I have pick entire walls, and I don't have any of the options selected. So this is going to make this life easy. So I can just like left click on a wall and drag my dimension out, and I can do that for each of the four walls. So I'm just selecting the wall, dragging it out, because you're going to drag it out a little ways because we're going to put some other dimensions underneath these. So the last one here, drag it out. So hopefully you get the same dimensions that I get. If you get some crazy dimensions like, 35 feet, 9 3/4 inches or something, you want to kind of fix those, because you don't want any kind of crazy fractions in your dimensions. Because when they go to build it, you're probably not going to be their best friend when they see that. So try to make them like even numbers, like so. And when I laid this out, I tried to make it where it was already completed, so we don't need to go move any walls and things like that. But sometimes we need to edit some walls. But anyway, so we have our exterior walls all dimensioned. So notice if I go to if I click on options now, so the next layer that I want to dimension is anywhere there's any intersecting walls. So if I were to click on options and click on intersecting walls, right, hit OK, click this wall and drag it up. Now I hit the wrong one. Let me undo that. That's not the one I wanted. I'm going to select my annotate, aligned. I'm going to pick this wall and drag it up. So notice it did grab the intersecting walls, but it also dimensions to both sides of those walls, which is not what we want. So I'm going to uncheck this, or I'm going to go to undo. So for the rows after the overall dimension, I'm going to go to pick individual references. So what I want to do is I'm going to select this outside face of this wall to, now you need to choose a side. Which wall do you want to dimension to? The left side, the right side? So I'm going to choose the left side here and drag it straight up. You can kind of feel it lock in place and see that little dashed arrow when it gets in where it should be. So kind of left click to drop that one there. And then I'm going to select this side of the same side of the wall that I've already dimensioned to. And then I'm going to dimension to the right side of this one. Drag it up. You kind of feel it lock in. So you want to make this next row all line up with each other. And I'm going to click this wall again. I'm going to select the outside face of this wall. Drag it up. Make sure it lines up with the others. and then I can hit the modify, so we're good there. So just kind of keep in mind, you want to kind of line these up, and also once you choose the side of the wall that you're dimensioning to, anytime you dimension to that same wall, you want to make sure that you dimension to the same side that you already chosen, so you're not kind of going back and forth. So that's kind of the second row that we want. And then the next row of dimensions we want is going to be to the centers of our windows and the centers of our doors, if we have any along that wall. So I'm going to go back up to align. I'm going to click on this left side of this wall, look for the center of that window. You can see a little blue line pop in, drag it up, and then again I want to dimension from the center to this side of the wall, since I've already selected that side earlier. Go straight up. Now there's no, in this area here, there's no doors or windows, so I'm good there. Over here I have a window, so I'm going to dimension from this side of this wall to the center of that window, and just kind of move it up. You can kind of see that little dashed line pop in, so you know you're in line with our third row here. So left click there. I'm going to pick the center of this window, the outside face of this wall, drag it straight up. I'm going to hit the modify, because that's that side of our wall, our backside wall, rear elevation wall is completed now. So the first row is going to be from the overall outside to outside. The second row is to any intersecting walls that you have with that outside wall, and then the third level is going to be to the center line of any doors and windows that you have. So we're going to kind of do that the same way all the way around. So I'll kind of do that really fast, because I just kind of showed you on this one. So we'll kind of speed through this next one, hopefully. So I'm going to align. Let's do this one here. I'm going to go from the outside to where the next intersecting wall is. So I'm going to click on this, drag it to where that old dashed line pops in, and then from here to this side, from here. So usually a bathtub standard is 5 feet long, and then from here to the outside, 5 feet there. Now if your dimensions don't match up with what I have, you did yours completely wrong, you need to redo it. No, I'm kidding. You might need to go in and edit move some walls around, or kind of nudge them a little bit here and there, but try to get yours to match what I have. Oh yeah, so the next one is going to be from the outside to the centers of our windows, where that pops in, and then from here, the center of this window to the center of this window, and then from the center of this to where this dimension is. There's nothing in this area, nothing in that area, nothing in that area. Yeah. So we're kind of good to go there. Hit the modify. All right, so I'm gonna go down here to this front wall here. Zoom in a little bit. Go to align. So from this side, there's no intersecting walls on this side of the house. So I'm just going to dimension to the center of the window, and then from the center of the window to the center of this door, center of the door, center of this window, and then the center of this window to the outside face of that wall. So we're good there. Hit the modify. And then the last side over here, hit the align. Let's start at the bottom, I guess, from the outside face to any intersecting walls. So this is kind of what I mean. So on the other side, I dimensioned this wall to the inside, or the bottom side. So I need to make sure that I dimension this to the same side again. Somebody's at my door. We're not going to answer that. Okay, so then I'm gonna go from, let me do that again. From a line, so I'm gonna dimension from this side of the wall to the opposite side of this wall here. So we have all our intersecting walls dimensioned. Now I'm gonna dimension from this side of the face of the wall to the center of our window. From the center of our window to the center of our door. And then from the center of our door to this face of the wall here. From that same face to the center of our window. Center of our window to the outside face of that wall. And I believe we have all our exterior dimensions. Let me kind of zoom out. So see how some of our dimensions are cutting through our window and door tags. So I'm just gonna kind of move these over to the side a little bit. Just gonna drag them over. That one's good, although I think I do want to kind of move it closer to the window maybe. And this one, move it over. Yeah, this one, it's kitchen window. This one, I'll move it a little bit closer over here. This one, move it over. Usually what I've seen is these door tags, they kind of place them in the swing area. The swing area, I don't know. I don't know if that's what you call it, but the area where the swings open, yeah, somewhere in there. We can do the same here. Move this over. Whoop, I didn't want to move the wall. Undo. I just want to do that so I could show y'all where the undo was. I'm sticking with that story. All right, so I think we're good there. Okay, so then what you want to do is any interior walls that we don't know the dimension for, like for example, we don't know the length of this wall, we don't know the length of this wall or that wall. I think everything else we might be good for. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to my annotate align. So again, we've already dimensioned to this side of this wall. So I'm going to select that side, select the corner of this, or the edge of that wall there. So that's 3'5". We could make that 3 foot. We could make that 3. I'm just going to leave it like that. We could make it 3'6", but I'm going to leave it just like it is. And then, so for this wall here, we've already dimensioned to this side. So again, I'm going to select this corner, select this outside face. That's not what I wanted. Hit the escape key. So let's do that again. So from this corner, there we go. So that's going to be 2'8". We're kind of fighting with space here. Sometimes you're going to be doing that. So now we have two things over the top of each other. So let me grab this door tag, move it back. I know, it's a pain. And then I need to dimension, let's see which side. I need to dimension from this side of the wall to that side. Move it up, that's 2 feet. Where that is. What else do we need? I think that might be, we need to dimension this door opening, or not door opening, but this opening here. So from this side to this side, that's 3 feet 4 inches. And then I need to dimension to where that starts. So from, let's go to this side of the wall. So from here to this outside face of that wall. Again, you want to kind of keep these lined up. And I can drag these down to kind of get them out of the way of the cabinets. Okay, so you notice that these dimensions are kind of far away from our wall. So you don't want to have them too far away. You don't want to have them too close. I know it's kind of like a visual thing. I can't tell you exactly what that distance should be. I'm sure if you look in architecture books, it'll tell you what it should be. But trust me, when you get into architecture field, they're not measuring it. It's just kind of a visual thing. So I'm just gonna kind of move this a little bit closer to our building. And again, move this one to where it kind of locks in, like boom, right there. This one I'm gonna move this closer, but not too close. Just make sure these are all lined up in nice, tidy rows. So then this one, I'm trying to get it nice and pretty. Nice and pretty. Okay, there's that. Grab one of these, move it a little closer. These are all in the same row. And this one. And this one, yeah, this one, let's move it. Maybe about right there. You don't want these dimensions so close to your floor plan that it looks like it's actually part of the floor plan, and all of a sudden they have some crazy build going on. Like, what is that? Like, that's not part of it. That's a dimension, silly. Like, oops, my bad. Did I? Oh, that should be there, I guess. There we go. There we go. Again, this right here, I should have moved that a while ago. Totally missed it. All right, so I'm just kind of looking around, make sure our floor plan is looking all nice and gorgeous like. Now, if we wanted to get real fancy, we could poche in the walls. Usually you poche, I know that's a weird word. You poche in the walls usually on a design plan, not really a working drawing, but just to show you how that's done, if you go to visibility graphics here and go to your walls, let's see if I remember how to do this. So under walls, we're gonna go to where you see walls line up with cut patterns. So this one, and for pattern is no override. I'm gonna change this to solid fill. And for color, you could make that black. I mean, you can make it whatever color you want it, but usually you want to make it black. Hit OK. So your walls really stand out from the rest of your work there. Hit apply, hit OK, yeah, hit OK. So there is our nice and bold pochade. If you want to impress your friends, those are pochade walls. So yeah, so make sure you save that. I think we're finished with our floor plan. If we need to add some stuff, we'll come back and do that at a later time. But for right now, pat yourself on the back. All right, good job. Peace out.